There's no other place like it. The world's center of speed. It is Daytona, under the lights, the 4th of July, and it's NASCAR racing. It doesn't get any more American than this. As we close out the first half of the NASCAR Vernors Cup Series season here in 2020. 42 cars made this race, 14 went home. A crazy race occurred here last year, absolutely crazy. Will something similar happen to last year, or last night for that matter? We're about to find out who is gonna win the Orange Crush Firecracker 400, only on the WesternCaves Sports Network. Hello everybody, I'm announcer WesternCaves. Welcome back. We got a big race tonight. It's the second race in the Summer Slam. And as I mentioned earlier, we had a crazy race here last year. Only 9 cars finished. Only 6 of them were on the lead lap. Mark Martin was involved in the second big one. He hit the inside wall coming off of 4 after making contact with Ann Wilson and cartwheeled through the tri-oval right into traffic, and he just got absolutely pummeled. It was crazy. So was last night's. Both plate races have been won by part-timers, and both of those part-timers are in the field, along with the third part-timer. That means five full-time guys. 5 full-time guys missed, as well as 9 part-timers. But before we can get any further, we gotta go to your starting lineup here at Daytona in the Orange Crush Firecracker 400. There's Count Dracula. He had a good, this is gonna be, qualifying was great because not only did he hit the pole, but the driver 36th in points missed. Meaning his locked-in spot is safe for another week. Alongside of him, the guy who won last year in this car, Snoop Dogg. Then Kathy Bates and Rick Scott, who won a duel earlier this year at Daytona. Chick Corea, who won at Talladega in Melling, I believe, last year. Starting next to David Dayton. Then Al Capone and James Bond, rounding out the top 10, Marco Polo and Woody Harrelson. Telly Savalas has won here. Back in 2018, he starts next to Hut Strickland, who just picked up his first career win last weekend at Milwaukee. Then Jeff Lynne, who won at Talladega 2 years ago, will start next to John Cena. Walter White will start next to Stephen George, and Denzel Washington will start next to Hank Hill, rounding out the top 20. Al Roker in the car that Mark Martin flipped last year, well, the number, and the guy who was leading at the caution at that time finished 6th in that race. It's a part-timer, Dave Marcus. Then Geddy Lee, who won last year at Talladega in the fall, and the spring winner, Woody Woodpecker, started on the next row. Crow T. Robot and Brendan Gaughan in row 12. Then Alfred Hitchcock, Iggy Koopa, there's Peter Perfect, Bela Fleck, Tom Hanks, and our Talladega winner earlier this year, Peter Onjak. Then there's Jerry Springer next to Bob Ross. Joe Biden, your points leader, next to Billy Mays in the Skittles car. Harrison Ford, he's starting next to last year's David Pearson 500 winner, Ian Anderson. Then Morgan Freeman, who won this race 2 years ago, is next to Tom Jones. Brian Wilson is up alongside Grover Cleveland, who made the field, rounding out the field, 2018 champ Richard Simmons and Kaminari.
Drivers, start your engines!
Denki Kaminari, of course, won in his first career start right here earlier this year in the Junior Johnson 500. A laundry list of drivers did not qualify for the race. The full-time guys of Burt Reynolds, Blaze Alexander, Casper the Friendly Ghost, Donald Fagan, and Carl Edwards. Also drivers making part-time starts, Rick Mast, who missed by only two 100ths, Pastor Maldonado, Tony Stark, Scott Roush, first career attempt, trying to make his first ever NASCAR Vernors Cup Series race, Nathan McCain, Mark Martin, Taron Edgerton, Tib Foster, and Francis Brown. Which means no Buicks will be in the field tonight. No General Tires. But Alpha will be in here. And we have some Pirelli shod cars. At least one. In the 85 of Stephen George. Yes, Kaminari's on Goodyears. I couldn't remember. Stephen George, the only driver using Pirelli tires. Everybody else in the field on those Goodyear Eagles. I don't think even any Hoosiers. This race is going to be really chaotic. Biden is the points leader. David Dayton is up here. Tim Foster won. No, it wasn't Tim. It was Benedict Cumberbatch who won last night. Foster, I think, was on the pole last night. No, but he was up front. Was he? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, green flag is out, and we're racing here at Daytona. Field already going 3 wide in areas as Casper the Friendly Ghost puts his Kroger Wells Fargo Ford out in front. Kathy Bates in the 88 trying to follow suit. It could be 3 Fords on the inside. Oh, here goes Bates to the inside of Count Dracula. I don't know why I said Casper the Friendly Ghost. Did I say that multiple times? He ain't in this race. Coming off of turn 4. It looks like Kathy Bates will lead the first lap here at Daytona. No! David Dayton. Oh, and Morgan Freeman's around in the back. Richard Simmons is involved. We're racing back to the line. Brian Wilson, Dinky Kaminari, Tom Jones, and Grover Cleveland. Are we going to have more calamity up here? Yes! Woodpecker and Mark Martin get together. There goes, oh, Walter White hard in the wall. The 17 and 97. Surprisingly, that crash wasn't worse. There's like 10 cars involved in that crash, but for all intents and purposes, there probably could have been 20 or more. And it will be Marco Polo leading. The early caution here. Nobody on the toe. Mark Polo still, I think, has not won a race. He is the 2018 Mellick Series champion. Oh, Walter White already taking it behind the wall. He had that hard lick on the backstretch. We'll give you some replays after we see if anybody comes down pit road. What looked like 2 separate accidents unfolding. And it's looking like everybody's going to come down pit road, at least all the leaders here. Everybody's coming down. They're all below the yellow line, as you can see. These guys already up here after only... Ooh, contact between David Dayton and Marco Polo. The call is full right sides, 2 cans, or full, or and then repairing damage. And it looks like David Dayton will get the points lead. Some people going all the tires, though. No, that was qualifying. Oh, Hut. What happened to Hut? Oh, that was coming off of pit road. The 11 pulled up right in front of the 90. You hate to see that. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Contact. Snoop Dogg. Joe Biden is into the 18. Oh, nearly on multiple wheels. What are you guys doing? Well, while they sort themselves out, let's go. Let's go back and take a look at what happened. So, Freeman and Anderson are here. Grover Cleveland tries to make a move, but turns Freeman. He comes back, slams into the 5 and the 3. And then the 48 is just an innocent bystander. So is the 13. So here we go as we see this one coming from a mile away. The 6 spins the 21 and the 0-2 into the wall. So here it's not looking too bad. Al Roker hit the 42. It wouldn't have been too bad, but Woody Woodpecker got the 10, who slams into the wall, and the 32. Oh, that's not a good angle. And meanwhile, the 8 runs into the 21. That's what sends the 17 around. He goes into the 10. A big lick for Bela Fleck. 5. So there's 12 cars. There's 13. Think about 14 or 15 cars involved in this one. The 20, the 3, and the 10 are all out of the 97 too. I believe that was all just from the initial wreck. Yeah. We're gonna go back to green now here on lap 7. Bela Fleck still on pit road. He is being scored in 38th right now, leaving 37 cars out. David Dayton is your leader. Marco Polo second. John Cena third. Kathy Bates fourth. Stephen George fifth. Chevy Ford, Renault. Then Brendan Gaughan, Al Capone, Alfred Hitchcock, and Iggy Koopa. A bunch of Dodges next. Tom Hanks rounding out the top 10. Then Snoop Dogg, Joe Biden, Chick Corea, Dave Marcus, Telly Savalas, James Bond, Peter Onjak, Bob Ross, Woody Harrelson, and Count Dracula. Must have been a tow for the 22. Billy Mays, Denzel Washington, Crow the T-Robot, Al Roker, Danky Kaminari. I don't know what I was doing there. Kaminari's 25th, and Grover Cleveland, Peter Perfect, Hank Hill, Jerry Springer, Rick Scott, Jeff Lynne, Geddy Lee, Brian Wilson, Woody Woodpecker, Tom Jones, Hut Strickland, and Ian Anderson. Strickland and Geddy Lee do not have any hoods. Their face is gone. Bela Fleck is at speed right now, but he's not going to be in the pack. Although he's only a lap down. He's not going to be able to catch the pack at all. Though we got slow cars and fast cars, you can see he's coming out of 4 at 166. The leaders have not hit 166 yet. 68. He's at 169 across the line, and these guys who are a half a lap ahead. Very interesting, only a few cars, unless it was some of the slow cars were up here. Anyway, it now appears John Cena's nose is out in front with Brendan Gaughan and Iggy Koopa right behind. Iggy Koopa in the Juicy Fruit colors this week. Cena will lead this lap. The top 3 are just as I said. Top 9 are all in this pack. Marco Polo, he's kind of sluggish, but he's trying to catch. You know who isn't sluggish? Dave Marcus, who's going to take 10th spot away. These guys trying to linking up. Interesting strategy as 2 of the more Pontiacs come down. Billy Mays and Snoop Dogg. Leaving only Chick Corea. Oh, I forgot the 32's a Pontiac. Only Chick Corea and Woody Harrelson are up here. More cars coming down pit road. Splash. Left sides. They must have got damage at some point. That's your points leader. I don't remember him getting damaged. Must have been under yellow, it looks like. Meanwhile, Tom Hanks was your leader. Top 10 all formed up. A bunch of other drivers trying to catch up here. Probably the next group of 10. Going slightly slower, trying to catch them. They might want to take the inside then. Well, oh, okay, that's... Oh, there's Joe Biden! An interesting wild card we did not account for is these guys just caught. Are they going to wreck trying to get around the points leader? Well, either way, Tom Hanks is still your leader. It's a 3-car breakaway. Him, Stephen George, and Iggy Koopa. As the entirety of the pack gets held up. Now Bates, Dayton, Hitchcock, Savalas, Marcus gone, Roker by. Peter Perfect now coming on by. Bob Ross. Denzel Washington now, he's going to try and get past here. Count Dracula trying to shoot the gap as well. Oh, Chick Corea's going to get chopped. Maybe not. Him and Bond try to get around. Jack also up here trying to get around as he files behind Harrelson as Stephen George now takes the lead. Crow might even get up here. John Cena and Al Capone just get really blocked. Cena now gonna dive below the 44 and dive below the 12. Capone now underneath the 12 as the 1 is getting a tow. Back here, Grover Cleveland, Hank Hill, Jeff Lynne, Rick Scott, Tom Jones, Danky Kaminari. Fight. Brian Wilson, Jerry Springer at the moment together. Marco Polo's Billy Mays by himself. Anderson, Woodpecker, Lee, and Strickland together. Snoop Dogg, there's Fleck. And here's the rest of the pack catching up to the leaders. Looks like Onjak doesn't have a strong car. Must have been a lot of contact on pit road. Oh boy. Lap car bonanza. There's the 22 of Bela Fleck. Now going to the lead, Dave Marcus. Trying to hold off Peter Perfect, who still hasn't won a points race since the spring Martinsville 2018. They both easily get by the 40, the 22. Just making sure it works, so sorry for blowing out your ears. Why did I do that? But, okay. Marco Polo in his black and silver car versus the red, white, and blue Turbo Terrific throwback of Peter Perfect. Trying to put his Mopar, is that Mopar Melling sponsorship? What a feel-good story if he could win on the 4th of July weekend. Al Roker's another, he's got an even longer winning streak. 2 races longer. It was the Spring Bristol race that he last won. Dave Marcus hasn't won since, like, what, 1981 or something? Brendan Gaughan is up here. Iggy Koopa. Chick Corea. James Bond. Alfred Hitchcock. Telly Savalas. Count Dracula. That's going to be your top 10 at the line. No, it won't be. Count Dracula will be out. Or in, maybe. Out versus Al Capone. By 1,000. Now here comes John Cena, Peter Onjak, Stephen George, Tom Hanks. Crow T Robot, David Dayton, Denzel Washington, Kathy Bates, Woody Harrelson, and Bob Ross trying to get up here. Make it a 21 car pack. We're 4 wide. That's dangerous. Especially if Marcus... Oh, he's in the wall! Marcus! For side that couldn't last. The good times are over. Several cars involved. Oh no! Here comes the back! Oh, they're crashing into him! Fluid all over the track, Kaminari! They're still racing back at the front! There's like 6 cars left! It's on Jack. Crow was involved. He had $250,000 on the line if he could win this race because it's the second leg of the SummerSlam. They're racing in a lot of smoke and there's dirt too. Peter Perfect looked golden. He's on. There's Chick Corea. Rick Scott. He's destroyed. Tom Jones, Denzel Washington, David Dayton, Crow, Woody Harrelson, Grover Cleveland on the toe. Hank Hill. Immediately come down. Out of the race, Crow T Robot will not pocket $250,000. He will have to wait until Indianapolis to get the opportunity to do so. Rick Scott's out, Denzel Washington, Tom Jones, David Dayton, Woody Harrelson. That's half the Pontiacs. Iggy Koopa pitting from 7th. Well, this one's going to need several replays. So why don't we do that real quick? It's pretty obvious what caused this wreck. Going 4 wide never works on the front stretch. And as you can see, Marcus goes for a wild ride. Korea, Iggy Koopa got knocked into the wall. He might have led that lap due to where the caution came out. By this point, the caution is out, and it's way too late to save anybody. Crow's around. See the 9, the 71, the 6, the 43, the 27, but there's Denzel Washington comes in too hot. The 11, the 92 now as the 15 gets in. The 88 rear-ended by the 66 and the 32 coming in. They can't see a thing. We go to the helicopter cam because that's the only way you can see anything. Look at that! Grover Cleveland slams into the back, and Hank Hill slams into him too. Rick Scott, I believe, gets a piece of the 38. Tom Jones gets a piece of the 25. Jeff Lynn. Almost started going onto the road course. And here comes Biden and Fleck trying to ease their way through. Kaminari came in pretty hot. None of them made any sort of damage. Just an absolute crazy way for everyone to wreck here. Al Roker in particular, or was it Dave Marcus that went? Somebody here. Oh, it must have been Peter Perfect. Damage to the 43. We're coming up to halfway this time by, and this is still less of a mess of the race than last year's. Despite only 19 cars in the lead lap. 24 still running. 27, Chick Corea is out. So after that, the 5, the 45, the 9, the 38. That's Tom Jones. Grover Cleveland. Peter Perfect. And Hank Hill. Chick Corea, Rick Scott, Denzel Washington, David Dayton, Crotty Robot, Denzel Washington, Woody Harrelson, Telly Savalas, Al Roker, Dave Marcus, and Count Dracula. 24th place. Well, the 24 cars still running. Bela Fleck scored in 28th. Will likely be 24th when this is all said and done. We're going to restart with 19 to go. Joe Biden is 20th. He's starting on the inside. He's your points leader. Marco Polo, Billy Mays, Snoop Dogg are behind him, and also behind the 2-lap down car, Bela Fleck. Alfred Hitchcock just made a pit stop. Loose lug nut on the right side. He'll drop to 19th. The rest of your lead lap. John Cena, your leader. Steven George, second. Tom Hanks, third. Al Capone, fourth. Peter Onjak, fifth. Then Brendan Gaughan, Jeff Lynne, Denki Kaminari, Brian Wilson, Jerry Springer, top 10. 3 plate track winners in Cup, all here in the top 10. 11th place and 12th is also one, but Geddy Lee has no hood. He's in 11th. Ian Anderson's 12th. Huss Strickland with no hoods in 13th. Kathy Bates 14th. Woody Woodpecker 15th. And James Bond with no hood in 16th. Iggy Koopa 17th. Bob Ross in 18th. And then Alfred Hitchcock. Pace car down. Pit road. 19 laps to go here at the line. And the Orange Crush Firecracker 400. Who's going to win it? Green flag is out as the field meanders back to race speed. Our second restart of the evening, the night. The fireworks have definitely started. It's an attrition race. There's only going to be a handful of cars undamaged on the lead lap. Or cars at least will be up to speed. Obviously, the 30 and the 24's in there. The 85 of Steven George is getting up here. Hanks is third. Capone is fourth. Then the lap cars, the Biden and Polo, that's for position. But here comes in the 5th place, Peter Onjak. Jeff Lynne in the 6th. Kaminari in the 7th. Gone back to 8th. Brian Wilson in the 9th. And Jerry Springer 10th. But look how spread out some of these guys are, and I think lap traffic is going to be a part of that. Get how off the pace Alfred Hitchcock is, but everybody is at least in 4th gear. Now, Stephen George was your leader this last time by, but now he's falling back as now John Cena's looking to take the lead back already. In the middle is Al Capone, who still has not won the race. One of the most notable winless droughts. This will be, I believe, this is his 90th start. Cena leads. Now Jeff Lynne to the inside. We got basically a 7-car pack. Kaminari trying to hold on to be 8th. Make it an 8-car race. But I don't know. I really don't know. He's down to 185 off the corner. That's not good. But Al Capone leads here with 16 laps to go. Biden was surprisingly good pace. A second pack is formed. Mini second group. Iggy Koopa, Jerry Springer, and Brian Wilson, and the lap car Snoop Dogg. Behind them, Woody Woodpecker, Kathy Bates, and Ian Anderson fight for position with the 2 laps down, Bela Fleck. Then Billy Mays is a lap car. Bob Ross and Alfred Hitchcock are getting by him. There's Geddy Lee, Hut Strickland, James Bond. It is an 8-car pack. 8 cars, but Marco Polo is a lap down. Polo's hoping that there might be a caution, although with how spread apart the packs are now, I doubt it. He's hoping he can cycle out in front of these guys when that happens. Get back on the lead lap. This will be really his last chance to do so. At this point, we are too close to the end of the race that if caution came out, we would not have double file restarts. Kaminari's only pulling 176 by himself. Wonder if some of these guys would have been better off. Your leader is Tom Hanks, leading with coming to 13 laps to go. Jeff Lynne, Brendan Gaughan also up here. There are no teammates at all, but there's some alliance partners. The 77 and the 16 who's not even on the lead lap. They have partners. 31 and 55 are under the same giant alliance that powers most of Chevrolet, actually. Mostly goes through Richard Simmons Racing. Last year, Gaughan would have been part of this, but now he's part of Logan Cloud Motorsports. Tom Hanks definitely looking like the class of the field at this point. Might be untouchable. $11 to go. Steven George now trying to get a run on the 31. Oh, Onjak's getting a decently big run. George's run now starting to stall out. Polo now hanging right behind all these guys. Laying back. Waiting to see what will happen. Now he makes a move. Steven George, now he's going to get a push from John Cena. 10 laps to go. Bond and Touch Strickland are side by side. Kaminari has been caught by Iggy Koopa. Probably soon by Brian Wilson and Jerry Springer. Steven George now trying to highline. Hanks defending. 9 to go. Now John Cena coming down here. Time this just right. Cena trying to get a run. Faster cars are on the outside is the problem. Lynn was trying to get a run. Now here comes Marco Polo. Now Onjak falling back. Who might come in the factor now is the lap cars of Hut Strickland and James Bond. As Hank's trying to go high. Oh! Bond is going to go high. It's going to be a stack up 3 wide for the lead because of this. And it looks like John Cena's going to get the best end of this. Marco Polo trying to get his lap back as well. Cena's the first one to make the move. Polo side by side. Onjak has cleared the lappers. Now Lynn and George are going to get by. Tom Hanks is sent to the back of this pack. $7 to go. We're not done yet. Round 2 about to start. Geddy Lee. Cena easily sails on by. Peter Onjak, not quite as easily. Weird, and he's holding up his alliance mates. The 44 by the 85. Now the 62 are gone. The 31 will try to get under at the same time as the 16. So here comes the 55 as well. We might have a battle on track for position as Marco Polo's up to going to be 17th. Coming to 6 to go. There's your next guys. Billy Mays, who had last crossed the line 35 seconds behind. That pack, at least. 16 cars on the lead lap. Now, Cena gonna get easily taken by Steven George. Tom Hanks once again looking. Onjak looking. Onjak looking. Now Brendan Gaughan gonna make a move for the race lead. No, he doesn't. Now he does. Coming to 5 laps to go. 38. They are losing some time. How much time, and will it be enough time? Remains to be seen. Now Tom Hanks back to the point. Onjak is all over with help from teammate Marco Polo. Now Polo is going to hang his own teammate out to dry. And because of that, he's immediately hung out to dry by Jeff Lynn. Coming to 4 to go. Tom Hanks won at Darlington last year. Can he win at Daytona this year? I think he won the Southern 500 at least. It's going to be close. Whether or not they catch. Look at that. Hanks has easily 2 car lengths between him and second place. Now is John Cena. Steven George also underneath, trying to get Renault their first win in NASCAR competition. Would become the 3rd-ish. Foreign may go. Cena with a move for the lead with 3 to go. We thought Hanks might be untouchable. John Cena around the dominant car of Tom Hanks. Now Steven George all over the back of the Doctor of Thugonomics. And there we go. Couldn't be at a worse time, because here comes, they're coming up on Billy Mays, Bob Ross, and Alfred Hitchcock. Holding up everybody, including Hitchcock's teammate, Al Capone. George on the inside. Brendan Gaughan is in second. Jeff Lynn now in the 3rd. Peter Onjak looking to take 4th. George is going to be the first to clear. Onjak going to get hung out to dry by his lap teammate once again. Well, alliance mate. Geddy Lee's going to have a word with him. But white flag for Steven George and Team Renault. 2.5 miles for the LPer to take his first career win. Winless season last year, but 3 wins in Melling and a runner-up finish. Here comes Jeff Lynn! Lynn with help from Marco Polo, the driver that beat out Steven George for the championship. Lynn, no, George has got to run. Now it's Lynn. 55 or 85. Who's going to be as they come off of 4? Could be either one. I think the 85's got a nose out, but a big push to the line. Steven George has won it. Steven George has won by 11 one-thousandths of a second over plate master Jeff Lynn. And will have a chance at winning $250,000 if he can win at Indianapolis in a few weeks. Thus rounding out the first half of the season. The second half starts out at, of all places, Dover next week. Steven George wins. Brendan Gaughan will come home in 3rd after his teammate misses. Again? No. Yes, no. Maybe. Tom Hanks for Al Capone gets another 5th. Peter Onjak, 7th. Iggy Koopa, Denki Kaminari, Jerry Springer up there. Only 14 cars, apparently. Yes, 14 cars finish on the lead lap. Only 24 cars finish. Kathy Bates, Woody Woodpecker, and Ian Anderson almost got lapped. Joe Biden 18th. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he'll extend his points lead. You want to know why? Because there's all the guys who retired. I think Marco Polo was 2nd in points. The 3rd foreign manufacturer to win in NASCAR, in the NASCAR Vernors Cup Series, is Renault. Well, 4th, I think Alfa Romeo was the 3rd, Toyota the 2nd, Jaguar the 1st by Al Keller back in 1951 at Linden. Rick Scott with the Heartache Award. It was Kyle Busch, and then Denki Kaminari and Stephen George. Yes, we seem to be recording. Good. That's Melling Points. Don't worry about that. You saw that yesterday. Don't do Melling Points. Why would I want to relaunch Chrome? Daytona. Biden wins. Gone up the 2nd. 77 points back. It was Crow who was 2nd. Points lead slightly increased, but Brendan Gaughan now a championship threat. Ian Anderson and Stephen George, who all missed races, both missed races in the first 5 races of the year. Well, that is the first half, because at the end of the first half, Hut Strickland loses ground. As you can see, now Morgan Freeman, last of the locked-in drivers, but he's 100 points ahead of Donald Fagan. Interesting. Grover Cleveland has fallen off his incredible streak when he actually makes races. But he's made up to 8 races now. Including the last 3 races in a row. Pocono was the last time he did not qualify for a race. So it's good to see the 45 actually getting in. Bond takes advantage of DNQs and such. Only the 3rd all year for Donald Fagan. Kaminari is 4th top 10 this year. His lone not top 10, I believe, was he had that tornado crash in the WEC 500. There's the rest of your points tables. All 58 drivers who have started a race this season. Interesting. Oh yeah, 55 were on the entry list. The only one who didn't start, didn't have a start, was Roush. Okay. Still, other drivers were wondering if Ward Gordon will make a return to attempting races. But yeah, Dover's next week. That's the DuPont 400. We'll see you there. That's going to kick off our second half of the season. Also be tuned for, I believe, Bowman Gray and Trucks next week and Dover Belling. Till then, I've been announced to WesternCaves. A hectic race. See Stephen George going to victory lane and several people going home on a wrecker. This has been a telecast of the Western Cave Sports Network. Until next time, see you then.